For today, December 15th, 2 Chronicles 17, Revelation 6, Zechariah 2, and John chapter 5. Let's turn to John chapter 5. It's always good to dwell upon and think about the things Jesus said and did. And again, just a reminder, if you're part of or watching the ministry of Calvary Chapel, we will be soon turning our attention to the Gospels. Still got a little more work to do in the book of Acts on Sundays. And early in the new year, at some point, we will begin our journey in either Mark or Luke, I believe. So more information on that coming up in February, March, April-ish. So keep that in mind. John chapter 4. First part is interesting. There's this place where people gather, waiting for the waters to be stirred up. Belief of healing is just not happening, right? So there's a multitude, it says in verse 3, of invalids, blind, lame, and paralyzed. One man who had been there had been an invalid for 38 years. Now, it doesn't mean he'd been there for 38 years. It just means he's been in that condition for that long. And Jesus saw him lying there and knew he had been there a long time. And he said to him, "Do you want to be healed?" You might think, well, that's a strange question. Of course, right? He's there. That's why he's there. But the sick man answered, "Sir, I have no one to put me in the pool when the water is stirred, and while I'm going another steps down before me." Yeah, it just doesn't seem possible. And isn't that true in a lot of things? Yeah, I'd love for this to happen. I'd love for that to happen, but this happens instead. And there's almost a defeatist attitude that we get. And Jesus said to him, "Get up and take up your bed and walk." And at once the man was healed. He took up his bed and walked. Now that day was the Sabbath, so that got the religious guys all up in a tizzy. And, they start questioning Jesus. They go question the man. Man went away, verse 15, told the Jews it was Jesus who healed him. This is why the Jews were persecuting Jesus, because he was doing these things on the Sabbath. But Jesus answered them, "My Father is working until now, and I'm working." It's okay, it's a work day. Healing is permitted on the Sabbath. It's a good thing. So the Jews are seeking to kill him because he was breaking the Sabbath, but he was calling God his own Father, making himself equal with God. Very crucial verse there, verse 18, that a lot of people maybe skip by and we wouldn't stop and think about. And it gives us a little more understanding about what's happening there. That in all of the teachings of Jesus and his miracles and his interactions with people, both common and uncommon and religious and irreligious, there's an understanding, especially from those in the know, that he's not going around saying, "I'm just a good guy." He's not going around pretending to be someone amazing. He's going around claiming that he's God. Right? Because they equate him calling God his Father, making him equal with God. They understand what's at stake here. This is going to be the thing as we go forward in the Gospels and leading to the cross. Not because he's being kind to people, not because he's healing people, but because they don't believe that he's the Messiah, that he is really God. You're like, why not? It's a hard one to understand. It seems like they would be all excited, right? But again, their mindset was they weren't looking for this kind of Messiah, the suffering Messiah of Isaiah 53. They were looking for the conquering king. But that's the next time. He will be that one day. And I'm thankful that he came the first time to lay down his life for you and for me. And he's fully God and fully man. Till next time, keep growing little by little.